It's a
Thanks for
lot,
asking.
yeah, it's a lot easier than scribbling.
To go over it afterwards. Yeah,
So I
definitely. And you
don't
can
know.
concentrate better.
I'm sorry?
I said, and you can concentrate better on the conversation.
Yeah. So I guess we could begin by your name is Hakimi, correct? Bobby Hakimi.
Yes.
And could you give me a little bit, what's your title at the company, Convoso?
So I used to be the former CTO, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm just in charge of research and development, and pretty much more of handling the vision of where the company goes and working with the other heads in the company to align us with where we want to go and come up with the architecture and the technology behind the product to get where we need
That's
by doing it as efficient as possible and making sure the technology is chosen right and things like that.
exactly. So I imagine you had a lot to do with the selection of Nexmo to use.
Yeah, yeah.
So can
It
you
started
give me
off.
a
Oh,
little
go ahead.
bit, if you could just
It,
give me a little bit of background about the company and what your needs were when you were looking for something like Nexmo and how you chose Nexmo. If you could sort of give me that background, that would be really helpful.
so, wait, ask the question, the first part again.
Just a little bit of background on the company, how long it's been
Uh-huh.
around, the sort of the evolution of the company itself, and then where Nexmo comes in. What did you need that required you to look for a solution like Nexmo, and how did you get to making that choice and why?
Got it. Okay, so, well, we started about, I think, what was it, 2006 is when we started the idea. It was kind of a favor we did for one of our family members, and back then there was barely any predictive dialers and platforms like there are now. And we kind of built this up for them, and then the word spread, and more people wanted to get on the platform. And since then until now, we had multiple revisions. We actually learned about how to really build, um, proper systems. How to put the how to say this, how to architect the system. So about 3.5 years ago, we scratched everything and we started the whole project from the ground up. We redesigned the whole platform. We hired a bunch of good engineers. There are still a lot of them with us. And as we started building it, it took us about a year to really just understand what we're doing. And the more we got into it, we realized at the end of the day, we're good at building software, and we're really good at telecommunication, but we're not trying to become a phone company. I'm not trying to become, in charge of putting the actual equipment with AT&T or whoever carriers we are and peer with them and deal out of that, because at the end of the day, we're not in a business to become a telco. We're in a business to provide software that takes advantage of the telco. So instead of focusing on actually becoming a registered carrier, which a lot of people do, we realized at the end of the day, a lot of people make a big fuss about it and they like brag about it. But in reality, you're just a small pop in some city somewhere. And you're not going to be like an AT&T, CenturyLink, and Verizon. And at the end of the day, for us to have all those relationships with all those carriers, to maintain them, to stay on top of the quality, to build that network, it didn't make sense for us to do that ourselves. So we started obviously working with carriers and building relationships with people who are in that industry, and that's what their main focus is. And instead of focusing on that, we focus on building around their infrastructure by enhancing that to their telephony platforms to build what we have currently. So that's more or less what we have been doing. And then as obviously things evolve, SMS starts now playing a big role in the market with all the millenniums. The people aren't as receptive to phone calls. They like to message, and their attention span nowadays is so short that a lot of that is moving to text channels. So we started working with a couple of vendors. We looked around and nobody really had an easy platform besides you guys, and obviously there was Twilio, but I think initially I didn't go to Twilio because they were at that point so big. I didn't think I was going to get the attention that I needed. So it was you guys and I don't remember a couple of other ones, but you guys had a really good platform. It looked clean. It looked like it was well thought out. And we did use it, and we didn't have no problems. So that's how we kind of started the relationship with you guys. And then it's obviously. Oh, go ahead.
What exactly? Which API or APIs are you using, and for what reasons? What is it that? What's the use case within your application?
So it was the SMS API. It was all SMS, and the use cases was for our customers to have a automated workflow. That is basically workflow automation to follow up with the customers, to nurture their customers or their leads to become, prospects by following up based on conditions, based on, having reached out to them a certain amount of time, and then having that component built into our platform and automating that helped increase the contact rate for our customers. So that is how the SMS, started playing a big role in our platform.
So give me an example of the kind of message that's sent to a customer, just so that I have a better understanding of what kind of text it would be that would you consider a nurturing type of outreach.
So say somebody submits submits their information on a website. That information then gets sent to a aggregator, which then forwards those leads to a buyer. Now, this buyer, and to be honest, there's multiple buyers that probably get the same lead at the same time. So as soon as that happens, our system can instantly call that person. But say the person doesn't call back, and sorry, there's an echo. Okay, now it's gone. So say we call that person, and that person doesn't pick up, and after trying them several different hours throughout the day, we see they're just not responding. So we have statistics that tell us, okay, well, this guy has not been reached X amount of times, and at that point, based on whatever threshold the customer wants, we then start sending a message and saying, hey, you submitted this information. We have all the data about this customer because they filled that form. We know the first and last name, so we have templates that are that have their what is it called? The gaps filled in with the customer's information, so it's a personalized message. And then at that point, when that message is sent to them, oftentimes those people that we can't get a hold of end up responding and calling back. So having that ability and automating that on a mass scale really helps increase the contact rate and being able to get more business out of it ultimately.
And did you notice, is there anything you can say that changed, like that's discernible from before you were using this method to after you deployed the Nexmo solution? Did you get more leads? Was there any kind of really quantifiable ROI?
So our customers instantly saw that because everything in our system is tracked, from sending a message out to message coming back and turning into a prospect and so forth. So as soon as we implemented it, literally after I'd say a week, they start seeing so much business come in from just these outreaches and sales that would have never had because they simply wouldn't have gotten that person to show interest, that they start expanding throughout their whole account and different campaigns.
So, okay, that's exactly what I'm asking about, because it's always good to know that there was sort of a before and an after, and that it's sort of, can you explain to me how it's helping with your business strategy or business goals?
So the biggest thing is all of these clients that we have, they obviously work with other companies and have a lot of friends that are in the same business. So when that happened, the word spread, and people started reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, my friend or this company I know is using this platform, and I heard you have all these."
Sorry, that was
Hello?
on my end. No, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so that instantly made a big difference, and then obviously it's basically word of mouth. We haven't, so that's one thing we need to. Oh, 1 second, sorry. Okay, thanks for coming. I'll just talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Thanks. There's one thing that we need to figure out how to do this, because there's this concept we just released recently, about, I would say, 2 weeks ago. We've been working on it for a while, but as soon as we start giving it to a customer, they just start loving it. I mean, they're all over it. They see the sales out of it. The ROI is there. The conversions are there. So it's so brand new, but they're just hooked instantly on it. So we tried another customer. We said maybe it's a fluke. And literally every person we explain what this does and how it works and how it integrates, they just see the ROI instantly. And we just tell them, try it. We'll give you some credit, and getting whatever the amount of sales they get out of it compared to the cost they pay to do this, for them it's worth it. So we always knew, because of the research we've done, that at the end of the day, when you get phone calls, you may be busy. You may not want to talk to people, so getting a message that, connects to what you have shown interest in the past, that is very powerful, because at that point, you don't take the time to pick up the phone, or you may be at work, so you may not be able to get that, pick up that call, but having that message and understanding that, oh, this is regarding something that I have had interest in, is becoming very powerful. So that is, making a day and night difference. Now, there's a lot of platforms out there that do this, but with us, the difference is that it's so integrated that they can see exactly when does it convert, how many messages do they have to send before it converts, how many calls do they have to send before they have to send a message. So all the metrics that we have built in our platform gives them the ability to really tweak it and, get the most out of it. Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry, I was talking and I had muted myself. I'm so sorry. The one thing that I wanted to know is when you get a customer, what is it that you're providing for the customer? Meaning, what are they purchasing? Yeah. If you could explain that.
I mean, there's a lot to it, but in a nutshell, it's a contact center platform,
right?
That has a lot of these contact centers out there now. They're so sophisticated, and they have so much functionality and information that any small to medium-sized business trying to get that power, one, they get overwhelmed. They don't know what to access. They don't know how to get the information they need. So with our system, we have the same capabilities, but we really dumbed it down to exactly what they need. And it's pre-made, pre-configured templates. There's KPIs, there's dashboards, graphs, pies, all of that predefined already, which allows them to see what the possibilities are. They can edit them, they can create new ones. So our contact center, it's not just a generic contact center like the other people out there. It's built to make it easier for the customer to get right in and to show them what the capabilities are by predefining a lot of the campaigns, settings, dashboards, reports. They're all already predefined and made easy to understand. And additionally, what we have, which nobody in the market has right now, is gamification, and that's something that we've seen has a dramatic impact on the productivity of the agents. And I'm not sure if you know about it or.
No, I don't. I'm very new and very ignorant when it comes to contact center, that business. Yeah.
Okay, so let me explain. Traditionally, people would pick up the phone, dial a number, wait for somebody to pick up, wait for a busy signal, answering machine, and so forth, right? So nowadays, the contact centers, they do all that in the background, and the agents just sit there getting calls connected one after another. All the busy is disconnected, answering machines are weaved out. They, if they want, they can leave, for example, pre-recorded messages when answering machines are detected, and so forth. So that's nowadays what a call center is about. But in order to really increase that performance, there's only so much you can do on technology. At the end of the day, technology plateaus, and you can't really do much more when it comes to generating leads, contacting people faster than in the past. So what we started realizing is there is a lot of money that these companies spend on the technology, but the amount of money they spend on the personnel outweighs the technology by a tremendous amount. So we figured, okay, well, we can't optimize the cost, and I mean we could, but we're talking about fractional differences between us and the competitor. So we started realizing nobody's tapped into these agents. Why don't we figure out how to make these agents excited, happy, incentivize them, get them to really get into the calls and doing that. And you can't do that by force. You can't do that by being tough on them or pushing them, because humans will never do anything unless they really want to. So we figured to incentivize these agents by creating game-like mechanics into the platform, showed that the agents are really, they're just showing so much more productivity by getting that extra badge, by getting coins to get a free iPad or to get a day off.
I get it. Okay. So they're incentives.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's like holding a carrot, but they get the carrot and they see what the carrot is, and they can choose what the carrot is.
Right.
So as they increase their productivity, there's always another mission that they gotta reach, and the mission could be getting this many sales or being having this many calls with this much talk time. I mean, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of metrics we have that they can tap into, and
is what they're doing trying to actually make a sale or just get a solid lead?
It could be anything. I mean, we're more geared towards sales and lead generation, but I mean, our platform is also used for support, having the most satisfaction out of the customers and having the shortest closing time in the call, or it could be used for any platform. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry, for any business. Although we are geared towards sales, we have a fully inbound platform built into it, because we are, getting more inbound customers, and we have the plans are to get into the inbound market in the future, in the very near future. So we have ourselves, we're our own guinea pigs when it comes to the entire platform. So we use everything, and we have obviously a support staff. So we use this on our end to make sure to see how it works and what the outcome is. And one thing I forgot, it has a complete learning management system in there. So not only do the agents train themselves, they take tests. Based on the tests, they get prizes, they get higher ranks, so they get certain priorities over other agents. Maybe they get more higher quality calls, higher tiers, and as they progress and grow in the company, they obviously get raises and they move up, and that's all automated. So it's up to the agent to move up at the end of the day. You have the learning management in there, you have the test, you have the point system, you have the rewards, and it's all fully integrated into our platform.
Right, okay. So your customers, I'm just still trying to nail this down. Your customers are the companies that have these agents.
Yeah, so a lot of our customers are lead generation customers. They generate leads for themselves or others.
Okay, and the lead generation companies hire agents, and these are the agents you're talking about in terms of giving them incentives so that they're much more...
They perform better.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we have a call center of, let's just say, 100 people, and technically an agent can just sit there and waste time all day long on a call. Now, nowadays, we have all these metrics, and we can see, okay, this guy's not performing, let's get him out the door. But why not figure out why? Maybe he's, not getting enough training. There's always, at the end of the day, it all comes down to training, incentive.
Yeah.
We all do everything in our lives to get what we want. And to get what we want, we have to work for it.
Yep.
So if you take these two elements and implement them into a platform where the agent has the ability to do that themselves, imagine all the money you're saving on training these agents, amount of money you're saving on the turnaround, and amount of money you're saving on losing time, because if you don't have enough agents to fulfill what you need and you need to ramp up, that's a opportunity that that's opportunity losing. The cost of what is it called? It's called opportunity cost that you lose.
Right. So again, let me just reiterate some of the stuff that I think I've been hearing, and I can go back and listen to this recording and maybe get it a little bit clearer after that, but I just want to make sure. So these customers, a couple of weeks ago, when you rolled out this latest, when you implemented the Nexmo SMS solution, what did the customer see in front of them or have at their disposal that they didn't have before?
Well, it's the same customer base that they have, but they are getting a hold of more people than they were before, if that makes sense.
And that's because, why is that?
Because at the end of the day, people don't like to pick up on numbers they don't know, so even if it's something that's interesting.
Because they're getting text rather than phone calls.
Exactly. And like, let's just say I sign up something on a website and I say I'm interested in getting a solar panel. Well, if an 800 number calls me, I won't know that it's them. I just see an 800 number. As soon as I see an 800 number, I'm just going to reject it because I know it's just some sales call. But if I get a message, which I mean, again, these people opt in, they sign up on a website. It's all, TCPA. They follow those rules. But how are you going to get a hold of that person? Because even if you call from a local number, at the end of the day, they don't recognize it. But if they give you the permission to message them, that message will get their attention. And that difference of, doing that. And that's also, So you're giving, what you're doing is you're giving these agents another tool to use. Yes, another tool that's automated. So they don't even have to do anything. The system does it based on conditions. It could be a cadence where they send a phone call. After 3 days, if the person hasn't contacted them, they get an email. After the person hasn't responded to email, they may get a text message, or the text message first and then email. So we have multiple ways to touch the customers, and SMS it's a huge part of it now. And as we've tested it and proven that it makes a big difference, these customers they see the ROI in this, so it's like a no-brainer for them. Okay, so what would you say to somebody? I mean, obviously you like this to be something that's a competitive edge for you, but if somebody wasn't competing for the same space and was considering using Nexmo in an SMS capacity, tell me what you'd say to them in terms of, the kind of support you've gotten, the kind of, how reliable and how responsive is Nexmo, and how difficult or easy was it to get up and running? Well, to start off with, from the first day I've used the guys, the support has been great. I mean, I actually get phone calls, I get responses, I don't have to wait. I haven't had a single day of downtime, so that is a big deal. The business relationship that we're now building, I mean, the fact that there's somebody there available to build that relationship, that listens to us and really tries to cater to what we need and customize some of the things that we need on the platform. It's just, it's day and night. A lot of these carriers, they have so much volume, they don't care. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, as companies get bigger, they just pay less and less attention to customers.
Right.
Which we've learned, it doesn't matter how small and how big our customers are, we treat all of them the same.
Right.
So, I feel like, I'm just as important as your biggest customer, and I feel like I'm getting the same attention. So that gives me the confidence to use you guys and to grow with you guys and start, using more of your services. So we started with SMS, but now we're using you guys for termination and origination. We're fully integrating you guys into our platform for all the services that you guys have. And that's just thanks to the support and the follow-ups and just the service, that we've been getting from you guys. Besides the technology obviously being very easy to integrate, great documentation, very simple, clean, it's not confusing, it's, straight to the point. I mean, all of that combined is really the reason how we got here with you guys.
Well, that's really great for me to hear. Thank you so much, Bobby. That's really been, it's great to know. I'm wondering if, would you be able to send me a logo that we can use on the document that we're going to put together? Just a Convoso logo that we can say you are a valued customer, and when we write up this story. And
absolutely.
also,
I can give you different sizes. You just let me know what sizes you want.
We need high resolution, especially for the ones that are going to be going on the web. And then also, if you have any kind of, I don't know, what you'd have, screenshots or photos or graphics that help illustrate, what you do, what the customer sees, if anything that exists that could help illustrate this story better, if you have any of those files that you could send me, that would be great as well.
Yeah, will do.
And then as I'm writing this up, probably within the next week or so, I'll put this together as a first draft. Of course, you get to approve everything before anything is published, but
great.
I will be able to sort of integrate some of the graphics or logos and stuff into it, and we'll get a better idea of how it's going to be laid out. But if I have any questions while I'm writing this, like if I'm putting it together and I go, I should have asked you this, is it okay if I give you a call or send you an email?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's totally
fantastic. Well, you've been really, really helpful, and I thank you so much for sharing this information and spending the time with me, and I will be in touch with you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time as well. Sounds
okay,
good.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.